Hi, this is Paul Crow. We're here on Spice Up Your Blog, and we have a quick video here that's basically going to be used in a few posts, and it's about the tab section that's on templates from the Blogger Template Designer. Now, when you use a template from the Template Designer, what Blogger have done is they've placed a piece of CSS in the template. So if you add like a pages list or a link list below your header, it will then be styled into a nice looking menu. And this is great if that's the menu you want to use. But if you want to use a drop-down menu or a different menu from Spice Up Your Blog or elsewhere, that tabs CSS will interfere with the code for your new menu. So your new menu won't work. So what we have to do is we have to either override or remove the CSS, the default tabs CSS in your template. And I'm going to show you exactly how it's done, so you don't have to worry about it. It does sound a little bit confusing. But if maybe you've already added a menu and you've noticed that doesn't work properly, and that is down to this tab CSS. Okay, so I have a test blog here, and I'll just really quickly put a link list below the header. So here you can see with the 3 links, they're in a kind of menu style. And all this is, if you go to the design page, is a link list. So it's basically one of these link lists here that's placed in the cross column section. But a cross column is basically, if I move that really quickly, you can see here add a gadget that goes right the way across. That's called cross column below the header. So let's place that back in. Okay, so when you place a link list or a pages list for your Blogger pages below the header, it automatically gets that menu style. But if you want to use an outside menu, you want to remove that styling. So what we're going to do is really quickly just show you how you can remove that styling or override the styling even without removing it. So if we go from our design page to our edit HTML page, what we want to find is basically the tabs CSS. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to click Control F to get a search bar up, and we're just going to type in tabs, T-A-B-S. And if you see, there'll be a load of different basically variables going down along, but if you just stay going, keep pressing next, and eventually you'll come to a section that you really can't miss. Just keep pressing next, and there it is. So basically you're going to come down to a piece of code like this, so you can't really miss that. And that's basically below this is basically your tabs CSS, and this is what makes this menu appear the way it does with the little hover effect. Okay, so what we want to do, you can just remove this, but the problem with removing it is if you totally remove this, you add a menu from Spice Up Your Blog or elsewhere and don't like that menu, you can't then switch back because you've removed the tabs. So what I would like to do is override it, but you can, if you want, you can just remove it, which would basically be just highlighting all of it, coming down until you get to the next section of CSS. So if you see, the next section here is columns. So we've gone from top of the start of the tab CSS, and we've highlighted all of it until we came to the next section here, which is columns. It might be different on your blog, but you'll see the next section started below it, and basically remove it. But as I say, I don't like removing things like that, because if you do want to change back in future, you won't be able. So what I would like to do is basically override it or tell this code not to be used, and then we can go back and use it again in future if we want. Now, to do this is quite straightforward. What we do is we ignore this here, this opening part, but at the very start we have dot tabs inner. So we're going to click inside that dot, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a / and then the kind of star symbol, which is usually pressing shift and number 8. It could be shift and another key on yours, but you'll see the star symbol. So just putting / and the star symbol, the very same as you see here. Okay, so putting that at the very start, and we're coming to the end of the code just before our columns, and now we're going with a star and / and what we've done there is basically anything within that kind of star / and / star won't be used. Okay, so I think that's fairly straightforward. And if I save my template and we then go back and refresh the blog, you'll see all this styling will be gone because I've told it not to be used. So that's F5, and there you see the style is not being used. Now we can go ahead and add our menu from Spice Up Your Blog or elsewhere, and that CSS will be used to style our menu, our drop down menu, or whatever else. So I hope that's kind of understandable enough. Let's go back here to our I don't want to highlight all. Let's go back to our tabs menu again really quickly. Here we are. So basically, if you did add a menu and you decided you don't like it, all you have to do is come back in and remove this, come to the bottom and remove this and save your template, and then that styling will once again be used, and you can go back to using your link list or your page list like so. So we're basically finding the start of the tab CSS and adding those couple of tags to the start of it. So if you have any extra questions on that, be sure to drop a comment and I will do my best to help. Thanks for watching the video.